All right.
Okay.
We are recording. Excellent.
Good.
All right. So, I'm going to go over the agenda now.
Okay. Today we're going to just introduce ourselves because many of you will not know who we are. I'm Dawn, and this is Bryn, and we'll give you a little more information later. We're going to go over, first off, the benefits that are available to students in the syllabus program. As a syllabus student, you can become a member of the RAIC at no charge, and you receive the benefits of being a member. Then we're going to look at some of the new and revised syllabus policies. We have been working on improving the experience and cleaning things up, and we have introduced some new policies that we believe will be of benefit to students and volunteers. We're going to then look at the experience record books. This has been an issue for us here in the office, and we do need to clean up some misunderstandings and get people on the right track with submitting their experience books. We're going to be talking about the RAIC Syllabus Student Audit. We have spent the summer doing a detailed audit of student records, and it should really help all of us in the near future. We're going to look at the new course sequence chart, and it's not that we have completely reorganized the program, but we do have a new chart that makes it very clear as to how the courses are sequenced. We're going to look at the grade submissions that we need to receive from you for your Athabasca University courses. We're going to be talking about a new program. We are automating many of the syllabus administrative processes, things such as course registration, payment, being able to see your grades, being able to see your experience logs. We're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to wrap up with some of the future plans we have for the syllabus program. I'll start up. I'm Don Ardeel. I'm the Director of Practice Support at the RAIC and the Director of Syllabus. Very briefly, I have been a practicing architect for about 20 to 25 years and retired my practice and joined the RAIC in this capacity a year ago. Actually, a year ago yesterday was the anniversary.
Oh,
So it's been a very exciting year, and we have a lot of good things planned for syllabus. Bryn.
And I'm Bryn Campbell. I am the RAIC Program Officer and Syllabus Registrar. So I'm the person that you email all the time and hand in all your work experience to and all your grades. And I'm actually a PhD candidate at Carleton University as well, working away on my PhD, looking at the marketing of architecture for the profession. And I'm very excited about all the new stuff that we've got going on, and I'm very excited to be a part of everything. I've been here, I guess, about 6 months now, right? Yeah,
6 months.
6 months now, yeah. So, so feel free anytime you want to talk to me and about the program or anything, then you can always contact me.
If anybody has a question, if they could type it into the question box in the lower right corner of their screen, and we will be monitoring the screen and answering questions on the fly.
Your questions. Oops. There you go. All right. So we're going to start off with the RAIC membership benefits for syllabus students. As a syllabus student, you are eligible for a complimentary membership for the entire time that you are a syllabus student. In addition, you get one free full year of membership with designation following your graduation as well. So this is a wonderful benefit to students and a great opportunity to be a part of the RAIC membership and community. You get things like group insurance rates, magazine subscriptions, member pricing at the RAIC store, so if you need practice documents, access to events and books and things like that, you can get that there. Discounts on car rentals, via rail, corporate traveler, and local hospitality. We also offer member pricing on McGraw-Hill products, so that's awesome if you want to get some books for school. And access to all RAIC communications, of course, so you stay apprised of everything going on at the RAIC. Membership on select RAIC committees and task forces as well is available to you. And you will be listed in the RAIC directory as a student member, so people can get in touch with you. So I highly recommend that you look into that. We have a contact information at the bottom there. You can contact Angie Sauvé, who is our member communications specialist, and she will get you all signed up. So we're going to start off as well looking at the new and revised RAIC syllabus policies. The policies that we have been reviewing and posting up on the website, you may have seen them under policies. These include the new administrative leave policy, the current withdrawal request policy, which was already in place, and credit assessments for theory, history, and technical courses that you take through Athabasca, the appeals and disputes resolution policy, and the late submission of Canadian Experience Record Books, or CERBs. In case you need help finding anything, on our website under raic-syllabus.ca, you can look under the third tab from the left under policies, and if you click on policies, you will see a list of all the policies and go to things like administrative leave and withdrawal request and credit assessments. If you can't find anything though, feel free to email me. So the administrative leave policy is fairly recent, but the purpose of it is to provide a consistent framework for the students to temporarily suspend studies if required and re-enter the syllabus program without penalty. So all you have to do is request in writing from Dawn a leave of absence, and you can request a leave of absence for anything from parental leave, family compassionate leave, financial hardship or loss of employment, personal emergency or medical leave, all of those things. You may also request it for other reasons, but if you just want to ask us what might be appropriate, feel free to send an email to myself or Dawn about that. So in the administrative leave policy, a student may take up to 3 years inclusive without penalty. And if you're looking to extend beyond the 3-year period, you can do it for between 4 to 10 years inclusive. However, it is subject to an annual application for extension and review of your academic and work experience standing. A leave of more than 10 years does not qualify an individual, though, to retain their student status or re-enter the program from which the point that they left. So feel free to email us if you have any questions about that. There's no penalty, again, for leaving for up to 3 years. You just have to submit a request for administrative leave from Dawn.
One of the reasons that we have introduced the administrative leave policy is that we have had a number of former students who have wanted to re-enter the program after an extended period of time. They have gone and done other educational studies, and they've wanted credit for it. Each case has had to be dealt with on an individual basis. It has been very time-consuming for this office, as well as very time-consuming for the student. So having this policy in place should make it much more regular and a much more easy process for people to re-enter the program, to leave the program temporarily and re-enter the program.
Absolutely. And just so that everybody is aware as well, while on leave from the syllabus program and their studies, students may not participate in any syllabus program activities, including studio. However, with the permission of a local coordinator, you would be able to participate as a guest in studio critiques. Students may continue doing their studies at Athabasca University, but they can't submit their transcripts or statements of grades. And students who are working while on leave, but not doing their academic requirements, and they're accruing qualified experience hours, must continue to record those hours and work experience and submit those books during their leave. However, on that leave, you will be required to pay an administrative fee upon submission of each book. You can also submit your books after you return back from your leave, but it will be subject to the late submission policy that we will go over.
It's important to appreciate that when you are on administrative leave, you are not required to pay the annual re-enrollment fee. So this is why we do have the much smaller fee when you submit your work experience book.
So we already had this policy in place, but it's the withdrawal request policy. So if a student needs to leave the syllabus program for any reason, or a studio course just on one term, they just need to submit a withdrawal request to myself or Dawn. You can submit it for official leave of the entire program, or you can submit it for just a leave from one studio course. So the withdrawal deadlines, just as a reminder for everybody, within 30 days of registration deadline, on the 15th of the month prior to the end of the term, and withdrawals after the 15th of the month all have certain regulations, so you can go over that. If you have any questions, though, about the withdrawal request, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. So we have a new credit assessment for the theory, history, and technical courses that you may have seen online. It's a new comparison chart that has been uploaded and is available online. And you can look at that because you can submit a credit assessment at any point during your syllabus program studies while you're in the program. And we just wanted to let you guys know that that is uploaded for you and for your use. So if you have any questions about the form, let me know, but it is available up online. At this time, though, we wanted to let everybody know that we cannot grant advanced standing for design studio courses. This is something that is under review, but everyone at this time must take RAIC 200, and your local studio coordinator at that time during that course will review your work and assessment for advanced standing for future design studio courses. We will be introducing a process for granting advanced standing in Design Studio, hopefully in 2018. So the Appeals and Disputes Resolution policy that is online, just so you all know, is currently under review in light of our pending policy on studio advanced standing. It is out of date, but we are working on that now and reflecting on what the status is for the current syllabus program processes.
The Canadian Experience Record Book is a requirement. Filling that book and submitting it is a requirement for all syllabus students who are enrolled in parts 2 or 3 of the program. The syllabus program requires that in order to graduate, you have accrued 9,800 hours or approximately 5 years of work experience. This experience needs to be collected in the 15 categories of practice, and each category has a minimum number of hours that you have to satisfy. Okay? Sorry. When you're in parts 2 and 3 of the program, you need to be employed by an architect who is licensed to practice architecture in Canada. Okay. Now, we have had a couple of students who have asked, well, I'm working for a licensed architect, however, I'm not resident in Canada. In this situation, as long as you are working for an architect who is licensed to practice in Canada, and you are registered with a provincial regulator as a syllabus student, and you have received your experience books, you can accrue those experience hours, even though you don't happen to be living in Canada, but you are working for a Canadian architect who may be doing a project abroad. Okay. All of the students who are accruing experience must have a mentor. They need to be working for an architect who's licensed to practice in Canada, and they need to have a mentor. The supervising architect and the mentor both need to sign each experience book that you submit. Okay, that's very important. They also need to enter their comments on the comments page about your progress, your capabilities, those areas where you need to work on, and a plan of how you're going to move ahead with your experience to satisfy all the requirements. Now, students can backlog as many as 4,900 hours prior to Part 2 of the program. Okay? So if you've been working in an office, you can submit backlogged hours, approximately 2.5 years of backlogged hours. Now those hours need to be recorded in the experience book. The experience book needs to be signed by the supervising architect and the mentor, just as though this is experience you are accruing in parts 2 and 3. Okay. Once you're enrolled in part 2, you're eligible to be accumulating hours towards your registration. So what you need to do is inform your provincial regulator that you are now in part 2 of the syllabus program. You will be given a certificate of completion of part 1. That's what the regulator needs to know that you're actually now in part 2. And they will provide you with the experience book that you then start filling out and submitting to this office and submitting to the regulator. So you're submitting the original book to the regulator, you're scanning that book and sending the scanned copy to us. We do not receive those books from the regulator. Okay, so you need to send them to the regulator and send the scanned copy to us. Now, students who had completed at least half of the courses of Part 2 by 2013 were grandfathered under the old experience model. They only needed to have 5,340 hours of experience, but you had to have completed at least half of the courses in Part 2 by 2013 in order to have been grandfathered under the old rules. During our detailed student record audit, I believe we have captured all of the students who would have fallen under the old rules, and we have updated their experience logs and sent their experience logs back to them. But as I say, if we have missed anyone who believes that you should have been under the old rules and for some reason your experience log shows that you need 9,800 hours, please let us know, and if there is an issue, we'll look into it and correct any errors that may have occurred. Finally, it's vitally important that you submit the CERB books, the experience books, every 900 to 1,000 hours of experience, which is about 6 months. You need to submit those books within 8 weeks of the last date of entry. So you have to get your supervising architect and your mentor to sign those books and add their comments within that 8-week period. The originals are submitted to the provincial regulator. The scanned copies are submitted to us. Now, we do have a new policy that's coming into effect on January 1st, 2018. Experience hours submitted more than 3 years out of date will result in immediate suspension of the student. So if you have not submitted an experience book in 4 or 5 years, I'm afraid that situation will have to be corrected before you can carry on with any of your studies. And effective January 1st, 2018, there will be fines levied for the submission of late experience books. Now, the 3-year limit and those fines that Syllabus will be imposing are consistent with the majority of regulations that the provincial regulators also have in place for these same books. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact the office. I know that submitting the experience books can seem difficult, and we want to make sure that everybody gets their books in. Now, in the near future, some of the provincial regulators will be moving to an automated entry system for work experience. The syllabus program cannot receive digital information from that automated process. So even though you may be in a jurisdiction where you can use the digital work experience entry system, you still have to keep the paper books and document that and send us the scanned copies. This is one aspect of automation which we are not able to address. So you still have to keep the paper books and you still have to send scanned copies to us, even though your provincial regulator is using an automated system. You can find the information about the experience manuals on the RAIC website. There is both access to the new experience manual, and for those who were at least halfway through Part 2 by 2013, the old experience manual, is a link to that is also there at the bottom of the page. Again, if there are any questions, don't hesitate to call us.
Oh, the logbook didn't show up.
Oh, the logbook. Okay. This slide had an exciting image of the logbook, the experience logbook. Now, everybody who is in Part 2 and has submitted a logbook will have received a summary of the log. And it's a spreadsheet that shows the 15 categories of practice. It shows each book. It shows the sum of the hours in each category. It also shows the level of deficiency, both in terms of numbers of hours and in terms of a percentage. So you could quickly see what you have to do to satisfy some of the requirements. When you receive your summary log, and I typically try to get these summary logs completed and sent back to you within 48 hours of receiving a book, this you can take to your employer or supervising architect and discuss with them how you're going to satisfy these requirements. We may have people who are excellent in design and they're really deficient in document production, or they don't have exposure to actual site reviews. So having the summary log can help you in the negotiation with your employer of how you can get the needed experience.
Before we go on, I just want to remind anybody who's on the webinar, or if you have just joined us, that you can submit questions throughout the presentation. The little chat box should be in the right-hand corner of your screen, and you can put questions in there and we will address them throughout the webinar if you have some. So, the RAIC Syllabus National Office has been going through an audit of all student records. This includes all of your work experience as well as your academic records. So we have been doing a very detailed audit of each person's records to see where you stand in the program and ensure that all your records are up to date. So this is very important that everyone, likely almost everyone, should have received an email from me that asked you if you thought that your records were up to date, and just giving you a summary of where you are in the program. So if you do receive this email, or you have received this email, please be sure to send a response back and review the records that I send you so that you can let me know if there's anything that's deficient or if there's something that's not quite right on your records, and we'll review those and ensure that we make sure that everybody's work experience and academic records are up to date, and so that you know exactly where you stand in the syllabus program.
One of the aspects that we had found during this audit is that some students believed that Athabasca University automatically sent us transcripts when you completed a course. We don't receive that information from Athabasca University due to privacy restrictions. You as the student have to request that Athabasca send us an official transcript, or you need to send us a scanned copy of the statement of grades once you've completed a course. You need to do that. We cannot request it of Athabasca on your behalf, but you need to do that so that we can then update your transcript and you'll have a complete official transcript from the syllabus program.
So some of you may have seen already on the website that we have provided a new course sequence chart. We've created a very easy to read course sequence chart that is able to assist students in understanding the program requirements throughout Part 1, 2, and 3 of the syllabus program and provide clarity on their pathway to learning so that you are very easily able to see where you stand in the program, and if you've completed certain courses, what is next on your path to learning. This is available for download online, and you can also just view it online. It's on the RAIC Syllabus website, so feel free to go and find it there either under the news or under course sequencing online. And in this presentation, when you receive this, you can also click on the downloadable link. Of course, that didn't show up. Oh, no.
Okay, hang on.
We'll get it.
Where is our chart? Let's hold it up. Where is the chart?
Oh,
hang on. We have a solution here. So, this is the sequence chart that you should have seen on the slide. Let's just get it.
There you go.
Now, we have not, it's crooked, we have not changed these course sequence to any great extent. We have adjusted a course here, pushed it a bit around there, and it largely had to do with prerequisites versus co-requisites. But the chart that we've created does give you a much better idea of how you can establish your own learning pathway. The chart includes the theory, history, technical and design courses, as well as professional practice and the work experience. You can download this chart from the RAIC Syllabus website. Okay?
Our guest has also provided a link to it, so thank you very much, guest.
Thank you, guest. Much appreciated.
We will make sure that it is in the presentation that you download online. All right. The next thing that is the submission of history, theory, and technical course grades. As you all know, you have been submitting your official transcripts from Athabasca University to us so that we can review which courses you've completed and what courses you are currently in progress on. However, starting in August, we are actually accepting the statement of grades that you can download from your Athabasca account. And we can review that if you submit that by email to info@raic-syllabus.ca. In addition, you do need to submit to us the actual official transcript, though, before the end of Part 1, Part 2, and to receive your diploma, just so that we can have an official copy on record for the end of each part and review and make sure that all courses are completed. So you can submit that still, like you've been doing, by mail to myself, the registrar, at our address at 55 Murray Street. The address is there in the presentation, and it's also on our website.
Just a quick point before we leave this slide about the certificates of completion. The certificates of completion are important because the provincial regulators will ask for the certificate as proof that you have completed either Part 1 or Part 2 and are therefore entitled to start accruing experience hours. Now, each provincial regulator have different requirements for for the number of experience hours that you're allowed to accumulate. But they almost all want to see that official certificate of completion for Part 1 or Part 2. So when you've completed Part 1, don't wait for some time in the future. Request the official transcript from Athabasca, have them send it to us, and request the completion of Part 1 or Part 2 certificate. And that way you'll have it, and you can send that right on to your provincial regulator.
If there's anybody who has not received a Part 1 or Part 2 certificate of completion and they feel that they should have, please just send me an email and I'll review your transcripts and make sure that you have all the correct documentation. All right.
Okay, syllabus automation. We are currently working on automating our administrative processes here at the National Syllabus Office. The kinds of processes that we are automating include registering for Design Studio courses, online payment, being able to access your grades and your studio evaluations, being able to view your experience log or download a PDF of your experience log. What there it is? Grades, access to studio evaluations, experience log. And I think that pretty much covers it at this time. Automation will also improve the experience for our volunteers in that they will be able to input grades, input evaluations into the system much more easily than the previous system where they were scanning things and having to send it in, and we were then trying to find it. And I know many students have been somewhat frustrated in that they believe that an evaluation was sent, they were told it was sent, we don't have it, it's in an email somewhere. So hopefully this automation, not hopefully, for sure, this automation process is going to clarify the situation, and it will streamline the experience for both students and our volunteers. And we are planning on have this implemented by December 2017 for the upcoming 2018 Term 1. And the automation process is already happening now. We have a company working on the coding, and we should have this all in place again by December. The one thing that this automation process will not address, and that is your registration for Athabasca University courses. This automation is for the Design Studio courses for syllabus that you're registered through the Syllabus program. You will still have to go to Athabasca University to register and pay for the academic courses. Future plans for syllabus. We have a lot of plans. The first thing is we are currently involved in updating the Design Studio curriculum. This is not about a radical change, but many students and faculty members have requested more information about how the course is to be delivered. How is the evaluation to be done? How do I understand the evaluation? So we are doing work on the studio curriculum, on the studio guideline document, to introduce evaluation rubrics, to improve the description of the courses, to improve the description of the syllabus program overall. And we hope to have this out and available for the 2018 Term 1. Another thing we hope to implement in 2018 will be the student e-portfolio system. This will allow students to upload their work. The best work will be featured in online galleries, which will be used for instruction. The e-portfolio system will allow horizontal communication across different studios in the country. So, for example, if there are 2 Level 5 students in Vancouver and 1 in Saskatoon and 1 in Thunder Bay and 2 in Ottawa and 2 in Toronto, this group can now communicate as a Level 5 studio and share their experiences, share their work through that e-portfolio system. We intend to introduce more webinars and more newsletters so that we can improve communication in the syllabus community. Those are just some of the improvements that we're planning to make to the syllabus program. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your time.
If you have any questions, we noticed that actually during the webinar, no one had any questions. So I don't know if this is an indication of how thorough our explanations were, or people are simply stunned at the information that we are presenting to you. So if you have any questions, please let us know. As nobody has put in any questions now, I think we'll call an end to this webinar. The webinar will be repeated again starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern Daylight Time. It will be the same information, the same presentation. Somebody's typing. We have a question.
Asking questions. All right, we'll stay for another minute or two.
So as I say, we will be repeating the webinar again at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. So if there's somebody you know that would like to participate, please let them know that we're ready here, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern Daylight Time.
We will also be putting this up online on the RAIC Syllabus website at rac-syllabus.ca. So it should be available hopefully by Monday. So if you need to get a copy of it and you want to use it to click on the links, and we promise to put that chart in there, it'll all be available online.
Yeah. And we appreciate the thank yous we're getting from Danny and Sandra and Rami and Vicky. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm glad that this has been useful. Okay.
Oh, Andrew's typing. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew.
And feel free again to give us a call or send us an email anytime.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.